Are you ready? Stand by.
Welcome to ThreeGun Show, episode 110. I'm your host, Dave Hartman, and my guest this week is ThreeGunner, founder of the ThreeGun Talk group on Facebook, and match director of SoCo ThreeGun and the Colorado ThreeGun Championship, presented by Burris Optics, Kevin Travis. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, I think you forgot something. Shotgun challenge, too.
Yes, the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge is coming back here. Well, Kevin and I are going to talk about all the great matches going on in Colorado Springs, as well as how Kevin got into ThreeGun and a bunch of other great stuff here, too. But before we get into the interview, I want to thank you for downloading and listening to the show. The ThreeGun Show is a weekly podcast where each week I bring you an interview featuring many of the awesome personalities in ThreeGun, just like we have tonight. And we talk about training gear, match strategy, funny stories, and just generally have a good time. And we're going to talk some match management as well. If you like the show, there are multiple ways of supporting the podcast, including using our affiliate links when you shop at Brownells, Amazon and Cabela's, and Optics Planet as well. Just go to threegunshow.com/support for the links. And don't forget to pick up your copy of the ThreeGun Show match checklist free by going to threegunshow.com/checklist. You can get yours. Just enter your email, and you will receive a free PDF download that includes everything that Jansen Jones takes with him when he travels for a match. As he told us in episode 30 of the podcast, this checklist is going to help you pack for all the matches you're going to in 2017, including the Colorado ThreeGun Championship.
And the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge.
And the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge. Kevin, I'm glad you're bringing that back, man. So I missed it last year. Mm-hmm. A little piece of my heart was gone, but we'll fill in the audience on what happened there and what to expect this year. But you know, I'm excited to be here, man. I'm excited to have you on the show. This has been a long time coming because you're doing some great stuff for ThreeGun in Colorado, and want to share it with the world.
Cool, thanks, man. I'm glad to be here.
So let's start where we always start on the ThreeGun Show, and let's start with Kevin. And so when you know, I know you was a ThreeGunner. That's how we met, is on the range. But I understand you still have some time outside of shooting now. And what do you do when you're away from the range? What do you do when you're not ThreeGunning?
Oh, man, that's so I'm a firefighter and a paramedic. Work for an agency that's just south of Denver. But when I'm not doing that, I'm pretty much at the range. I run, like you said, the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge is going to be mine and Mike Payne's this year. We're working together on it.
Cool.
He was the former match director for it.
Yeah, and he did a fantastic job, too.
He did an awesome job, and I can't wait to see what he comes up with for this year. And then I'm working my butt off for the Colorado ThreeGun Champs. And then we've got our local match that we run called SoCo ThreeGun. And then I also run the Pikes Peak Speed Steel match at Pikes Peak Gun Club. So I'm out there a lot, man. When I'm not doing that, I'm shooting sporting clays or doing other stuff.
So you like walk the walk.
I jumped in, man, full bore.
What is the Pikes Peak Speed Shoot?
Speed steel, yeah. It's just
steel,
kind of like any other like steel match in the nation, but basically
like steel challenge-ish.
No, not in the least bit. No, so I set up about like 20 to 30 pieces of steel on a stage, and it's one Wednesday a month. It's going to start in March, and the idea was kind of like an introduction for people that wanted to get into action shooting and into ThreeGun and stuff like that. But either A, didn't have all of the gear, only had a pistol or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then B, people that we could do it in a more relaxed atmosphere. You don't actually get a score. You don't ever find out who won or anything like that.
Weird.
It's just coming out and you actually get – so we only set up 2 stages. And then you run those 2 stages as many times as you want and can. And so it provides an opportunity for practice for those shooters that want to see if, hey, is posting going to make me run faster, or is moving and shooting but shooting slower but moving faster going to end up making me have a faster time or whatever. So
interesting.
It's kind of like an organized practice more than anything else.
Cool. And so it's all steel then?
It's all steel, and so it's super easy to reset. There's no scoring or anything like that. You just get to see your time, and we give you a piece of paper that you write down your time, and You get to see if you improve, and usually guys spend about 300 to 350 rounds.
Oh, wow.
In one evening on this.
Evening? Wow.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool because I'm genuinely seeing a lot of these people improve like a ton. So it's pretty cool. And we usually get only about 20 people out there for it or whatever, but they're usually the guys that come after work and this dive right in. So
nice.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, so you are pretty well entrenched into action shooting then, as well as some other sports. Where did this love of shooting come from? When did you first get into practical shooting?
Honestly, man, practical shooting came after the military. So I've been shooting since I was a little tyke, probably 6 years old or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
Our dad took us down to the basement that was unfinished, had BB guns, which this sounds totally unsafe now that I talk about it. But
it's only BB guns.
BB guns in the basement, and we had safety glasses on, but shot a little trap in the basement, and then
trap,
like a little BB trap.
Yeah,
just shot some traps, shot some clays in the basement. But, yeah, kind of just worked from there into, I grew up hunting birds and deer and stuff like that and elk. And then I went off to the Marines and got the experience of, I was a firefighter in the Marines, but before Iraq, they sent us through a ton of close quarters battle training. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy crap, this is a blast. And so actually moving and shooting and learning how to move through things and whatever. That was fun, and then I got the opportunity to do it a couple more times to train like that. And then I got out, and I still wanted to continue my shooting. And I found they called it a 3-gun match. It was more of a bullseye pistol, bullseye rifle, and then trap match at
weird.
It was kind of interesting at the Cherry Creek Gun Club.
Oh, okay. Which is a public range.
And it was a lot of fun. And they called it 3-gun. It wasn't truly 3-gun. It was just 3 guns. But it was a ton of fun. I actually ended up winning the rifle division. They had a ton of shooters go through, and they had already tallied all the scores, and I was the second to last person to go through it, and they were all kind of pissy because it's this guy just totally screwed up the curve because I went through there, and it's actually kind of funny. So I was shooting at the wrong target. You got 10 rounds to shoot in, to sight in, and they got to tell you where you were shooting, and the lady next to me started yelling, "Hey, you're shooting my target." And so I actually shot my target on the clock and won this bullseye match without ever having seen where my rounds were going. And so that kind of got my taste for shooting sports. And I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. Let me see what else, what other 3-gun stuff there is. Then I looked up videos on YouTube, and I was like, wow, this is nothing like what I just shot. This is so much better than what I just shot. I mean, that was fun, but this is a blast.
Yeah, you probably found something like Iron Man or something.
Right. Yeah. No, actually, I found all the Jesse Tischhauser videos on Pandemic, on the zombies in the Heartland. And he was shooting in a bus and stuff like that. I'm like, this is amazing. Right?
That's awesome.
So then I started looking around, and I found my buddy Micah showed me this match called M. Lazy C Ranch, which was out in the middle of the forest, and it was this dude ranch.
So here in Colorado?
Here in Colorado. It's up in Lake George, Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I went up there and had the time of my life, and then kept shooting, and then it just kind of continued on from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so I think the first time I remember that you existed. I was trying to say that we met each other, but we didn't actually meet each other. It was I want to say it was at either the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge or it was one of the monthly shotgun matches that Mike Payne put on.
Yeah, those were amazing.
One of those two, and Mike was like, "Oh, we got an announcement," and then you were like, "Hey, we're gonna be doing a 3-gun match down here." Yep.
Yeah, that was
all you said.
That was at one of the local matches.
Was that one of the local matches?
Yeah, because we started those in November 2014, and I think I announced it in October 2014.
Yeah, that must have been it. Yeah. And I remember that because you were just like, "Hey, we're going to do a local 3-gun match down here."
And I kind of just left it at that.
No, yeah, it was, and then it was like crickets. Well, okay, we look forward to that, Kevin.
Yeah.
So that That little match. So you started in 2011, you said?
2014.
So November 2014? Okay, so you announced a month before that.
I started ThreeGun in May of 2014.
Right.
And then I started my first match in November of 2014.
Right. So how many people came to that first match? And what was
about
that
35
like?
or so.
About 35?
And
that's
it was
kind of a lot for a very first match.
It was amazing, man. Everybody that I knew came out for it. I mean, people that I probably have never and will never see again at another local match. Mm-hmm. They really made the effort to come out just to support that first match. It was amazing.
Why did you start that match like 5 months into it, 6 months into it? What was it that made you think that you could do that?
Okay, so
I know you now and I know the answer to this, but
okay, so it's kind of a little bit of a long story, but and actually I don't think you know all of this.
Okay.
I shot a match before MLAZC that was pretty weak, and I mean it was
it the
really
Cherry Creek match?
No, it was before. It was after that.
Okay.
And so the MLAZC ranch one is what I would consider my first ThreeGun match. But there was this one that this gentleman tried. He made it. It was fun. It was good, but so
can't ever say anything bad about a match.
Oh no, absolutely not. Especially not another match director. But it was. It wasn't exactly what I wanted and had expected out of it, and. Then I saw MLAZC Ranch, and I shot up there, and I was like, wow, okay, this is ThreeGun. This is what I want out of this. This is what I like about this. And then one of the guys that I actually met from that other match, his name's David, so he and I were talking one day. He's like, man, it'd be so cool to have something like this in Colorado Springs. And I was like, yeah, it really would be, and it'd be kind of fun to run something like that. Mm-hmm. Well, so it turns out he was out at one of these practice sessions for pistol practice, out at Pikes Peak Gun Club, met Mike Payne, and twisted Mike's arm into like a meeting with us. And like this, he did this without me even knowing about it. So he kind of David, if you're listening to this, you cornholed me into ThreeGun, buddy. But but yeah, he set up this meeting, and he called me. He was like, hey man, so. You said you thought it'd be cool to run a ThreeGun match, right? So I got this meeting with Pikes Peak Gun Club to run a ThreeGun match out there. I'm like, what? Are you serious?
Oh, nice.
And
so you didn't have a choice.
So I kind of didn't have a choice. So we showed up in our dress shirts and met with the management and stuff like that, and met with Mike, and who was super supportive about it, and they gave us all kinds of resources, and kind of just went for it, and it happened, and it was a lot of fun. And then after we started to think about it,
before we start going here, what was that meeting like? So you had to have been a little nervous. You just said you showed up in a dress shirt.
Yeah.
So you had to have been like a little bit intimidated.
Well, I just kind of trying to show that
that you were serious about it.
We're serious about it. We're mature enough to be able to handle the liability of running a match.
Well, these guys got dress shirts. Of course they're good.
Yeah. Well, it's like in Step Brothers when they show up in the tuxedos for the janitor interview. So I show up there, and we show up and sit down, and kind of they ask, what our plan is, and kind of told them, like, so we've seen these other matches, I've shot these other matches, and we'd like to bring this to Colorado Springs, and we think that this is the perfect venue for it, and so let's make this happen. And so they, I don't know that I would say reluctantly, but hesitantly said, okay, yeah, we'll give you a shot. Mm-hmm. So they let us do one match.
Oh, cool.
We did the November 2014 match. Went over very, very well. Had a decent showing. They didn't have any safety complaints, and so they let us do another one, which was January 2015. Things went really well. 2015 was awesome, and then we started a monthly match starting in March 2015. Yeah,
awesome.
And so then ever since then, actually starting in April that next month, we haven't had a match that we haven't sold out in the past 2 years.
It's crazy. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Second, I don't like that because that doesn't fit my planning style at all for matches. Mine's like it's Thursday evening or maybe even Friday morning. I'm at work or was at work, and I'm like, oh, dude, I want to go to Kevin's match this weekend, and then okay, so where was that link? And then I go find the link, and then it takes me to practice score. Match is sold out. It's cool. I'll catch you next month. And then I see the announcement, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing that day, so I'll wait. And then Thursday comes around, it's like, oh, man. So
the fastest we've sold out was in 9 minutes from opening time. it's a little bit ridiculous for a
so
local match.
That
to
is a
sell
little
like
bit
that.
ridiculous. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that for a minute here. So
Yeah.
as well, and then I want to talk to you. I want to remind me to go back because I want to
Okay.
tell people why Colorado Springs is a good market for ThreeGun.
Okay.
But let's talk about that for a minute because you and I have had multiple discussions on this of
Mm-hmm.
selling out for local matches. It's hard to get new shooters in there because you get the dudes that are like super dedicated
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to make a meeting on my Outlook calendar at work. So I know, so no one makes a meeting with them, but I've got a very important phone call. So then they go and,
It's funny as people are actually doing that.
Oh,
They're
I
actually
know.
telling me that they're doing that. It's hilarious.
yeah, that is not something I made up. That is, someone told me that as well. But yeah, so you have to pay that close of attention to be able
Yeah.
to get into one of these matches.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does that mean for like the newer shooters or someone who hasn't come to a lot of the matches, and or the slackers like me, where it's like after the third one, I'm just like, I guess that's not for me.
Well, I mean, the slackers, they got all kinds of matches. That's really cool. Like the Front Range has, I can't count off the top of my head, but I'd guess 7 matches
Yeah.
locally. Like, I think Colorado's Front Range is honestly the hidden gem in the 3-gun world that people just don't know about. In the state of Colorado, we got like probably about 10 to 11 or 12 matches in the state. And it's like, I mean, that's pushing Texas standards right there.
Or where I used to live in Colorado, it was 2 hours to 4 high quality matches,
Yeah.
and they were on alternating weekends.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and we do that on purpose. So that's the
wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool actually. I'm the support and that we provide for each other is really awesome. Sometimes we're a little bit closer with each other than other times, but as a whole, we really, really try to work with each other. When I had to change my schedule from the
And you're talking
third
about
weekend,
other match directors, right?
Yeah, so from the third weekend, I had to change it to first weekend just because of the way it worked with the club schedule. And I called every other match director in the entire Front Range area, and we made it work. We figured out what the best day was. And then when Mike Griswold opened up the Big Ben 3-gun in Rama, he did the same exact thing. He's like,
Ben Lamont Gun Club.
He decided on second Saturday because it fit with everybody else's schedule. So honestly, there is not a single weekend, if you're a 3-gunner in Colorado, there's not a single weekend that you can't shoot 3-gun. You will find a 3-gun match. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
We're very, very fortunate. And then if that's not your game, or if one 3-gun match per weekend's not good enough for you, there's so many pistol games around here too.
There's IDPA, there's USPSA, there's
and
Steel Challenge, there's Speed Steel, there's
and at all the ranges. That's the cool thing. So yeah, I do think like a hidden gem. And by the way, the Texas being a hotbed for 3-gun, that's like saying the United States is a hotbed for 3-gun because Texas is friggin' huge.
It's huge. Yeah. I mean, you could drive. You can drive Colorado in what, 3.5 hours
I
from
just
top
drove
to bottom?
SHOT Show from Austin, and my first leg was to El Paso. My first day was not even getting out of Texas.
Right. And
Yeah.
you can cover all of Colorado, like crossing 2 mountain passes and going through the Eisenhower Tunnel, dealing with a snowstorm
Just
in like
did it
6
today,
hours.
buddy. Just did it
6
today.
hours, yep.
So yeah, that's a very unique thing. So it's let's back up to Colorado Springs. So it's Colorado Springs was begging for a match.
Yes.
And why is that?
So the reason I thought was actually not the reason. So I thought
That might be the reason I think.
So we have 5 or 6 major military bases within Colorado Springs.
That's what I thought.
And surprisingly, the large majority of people that shoot with us are not military.
Interesting. See, I would have thought that just because you're serving the market down here, that you would get a large contingency from the bases.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought that, and we do. We get everybody from some like motor pullers all the way up to I shouldn't say up to, that kind of degrades the motor pullers, but we get everything
all the way down to
from motor pullers all the way to like the top guys, the 10th group, special operations guys. We've got everything kind of coming out, and it's pretty cool. We got some Air Force guys and whatever, but in general, the people that are showing up to the match are not those people.
Interesting.
They're really not. We have everything.
Well, the second part is Colorado Springs, like what, 1.5 million people?
No, it's much less than that. It's like 750,000 or something.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
I must be thinking of
for
Aurora.
for city proper. City proper.
Oh,
I want to
city
say
proper.
is like that.
Okay.
And then there's some surrounding areas and whatnot. It's not like the Denver metro area.
There's probably like 1 million in the surrounding areas.
There's probably
including,
a million and a quarter, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah. So, but the thing is if you look at geographically, the closest match to here was over 2 hours away.
Which is Rama?
No, before that.
Oh,
That's
before
actually
that.
only about 45 minutes from my house.
Oh, okay.
But CRC, Colorado Rifle Club.
Right. That's
and
over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's well over 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so, I was just thinking that there's definitely an opportunity based on it's a conservative city, and there's a lot of people that want to shoot down here. And
it's kind of getting connected to the metro area of Denver slowly but surely over the last bunch of years.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize when I left Castle Rock and I was in Colorado Springs on the way down here, but I was also tired and it was dark too. So it's definitely getting connected. So you can figure this is like the
southern extension,
super south metro area for sure.
Almost, yeah.
And there's a ton of people down here for sure.
Yeah. But we have everybody, and it's actually been pretty cool. We have a huge contingency of about 15 to 20 shooters that travel to our match from over 2 hours away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even though they have to sign up
yes.
month in advance.
We have guys coming from up to on a monthly basis up to 5 hours away.
So when you have like a like dudes signing up and ladies that far in advance for your match, it kind of gives you the ability to do some other things that maybe some other match directors can't do. And you're introducing some new features to SoCo 3-Gun this year. Do you want to talk about what those are?
Yeah, so we did this actually last year for we did an end of year championship match for just the local guys that shot with SoCo 3-Gun. And they got a shoot off at the end of the year and competed for medals and stuff. And it's gotten to the point where it is so hard to get in for a lot of the regular members that we actually had to go to a membership program, which is it's good and it's bad. I'm afraid that it's going to cut out for new members, cut out opportunity, and so we're going to work through that. We are looking at several different match formats to be able to hopefully expand our base. Right now we have 65 shooters that can shoot in one day for 5 stages, which, incredibly enough, we've had up to 95 people sign up for local matches, understanding that they are 30 people deep onto a wait list. And so I'm trying to find some other ways to make that base happen.
Right.
Have that many people go through in a day, which is it's pretty tough. So we'll see how that goes. We're exploring that.
That should be interesting. It'll be cool to see where you guys go with that. But
we have some ideas, but I can't quite divulge them yet because I'm not 100% that we're gonna do them. But.
Sure. Well, I heard from a lot of the shooters that made the championship match that it was a ton of fun, and you guys actually finished late, so you ended up putting all these cars around the bay and shooting under the lights, which is pretty cool.
So we had we took the top people from each division, and we did it on daylight savings time day, and I started an hour early thinking that this was going to be all right. We're starting an hour early, but still the light ran out so dang quick. It was like 4:45 in the evening, and it was already dark.
Oh, man.
And so I had everybody break down all the stages except for the shoot-off stage, which I let everybody shoot throughout the day so that they, even the not top shooters had the opportunity to play on a shoot-off stage, which was fun. And then we lined up 8 trucks in a row, turned on all the headlights, and kind of just went for it and shot. And the club was fully on board with it. It was so cool. The manager
came down.
Got a lot of support
from that club.
God, that club is incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even begin to explain how much they have done for us and how much they've let us do. And it's all been a very new experience for both of us. And they've put a lot of trust in us. And the great thing is I think we have met and exceeded all of their expectations of trust. So
that's great.
Yeah. So that's been cool.
So, back to your dress shirt experience. What we're talking now in 2017. You've got 2 years running the match under your belt and a championship match and plenty of other major matches that you've traveled to and seen how things are run. So what made you think that you could run a match, like I'm the guy that needs to step up and do it? And then when you stepped into it, what were the few things that you thought was going to be unique about your match?
So I'm kind of an idiot. Every time I jump into something, I jump in entirely to head over, head first.
Yeah, we've talked about this. We're both car guys.
Yeah. And so everything I've ever done, like I've kind of been that way. And like I got really heavily into a car club scene for a little while. I started a club and we started this thing. It was really cool. It's called the Tommyknockers Gold Run, it started with about 20 cars and ended up well over 60 for my last Gold Run. And we would all meet at the mall in Golden, the Colorado Mills Mall. We'd drive the entirety of Highway 6 all the way up to Tommyknockers Brewery in Idaho Springs. Yeah. And we actually got them to reserve their banquet room for us. And we had about 100 people at the last one that were all in these, these quick little cars. And it was just fun. It was like doing car meets and stuff. So I've got experience like organizing things. But organizing a car meet was totally different than I was like, I can organize stuff. I know how to use a little bit of social media. No big deal. I had no idea what I was getting into with the ThreeGun match though. But I will say this though. Okay. The support. So first off, the community in ThreeGun is incredible.
Yeah.
The people
way
in
different than
ThreeGun,
car clubs.
Yes. Oh, so much different. The people in ThreeGun are beyond supportive, and I will specifically call out some people that when I first started this match, I called and talked to or texted or emailed or messaged on Facebook some of the top people in the entire nation for making matches and for building matches and match directing and range mastering and stuff. And I had 1,000 questions, and every single one of them has had absolutely no problems taking the time out of their day to help me with that. And I actually made a little list here. Denise from Rocky Mountain ThreeGun.
Oh, yeah, of course.
She has answered. I called her like 2 weeks ago. She continues to answer my questions when I have problems and questions. Mark Pasamanek, who ran Noveski, he really helped me out a whole lot when we first started. Mike Payne has been a continual resource. Kurt Gruber, he gave me the best advice out of anybody when I was trying to set up this major match. And I messaged him. I was like, hey, man, I know you run Texas. And I hear
the state.
Yeah, the state match there. Yeah. No, he runs the entire state. I know you run the entire state of Texas. But I was like,
Governor Gruber.
So Gruber. I was like, listen, man, I know you make a great match. Everybody wants to shoot your match. Tell me why. And he's like, to be honest, man, if you make a match that you really, really want to shoot, a match that you would have a blast shooting, not with some hokey crap, like stuff that will genuinely be fun to you to shoot, he's like, other people are going to love it too. He's like, don't do some hokey stuff. Don't do anything ridiculous. He's like, I like to shoot a ton of targets. And he's like, because I like to shoot a ton of targets.
Yeah, he's an open shooter, for goodness sake.
Yeah. And he's like, I make a match that has a ton of targets. He's like, I probably have more, rounds per stage than just about anybody. And so I kind of took that to, that heed. Charles Soule, who, he runs all the ThreeGun Nation regionals and a bunch of other stuff. And it's like, he took time out of his day, and I made like 3 or 4 phone calls to the guy.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you remember me, but he was super helpful. And then Ken Nelson with the practice score stuff and a bunch of stuff. So, that's to me the best part about ThreeGun is we're all competition. Like, we're competing for shooters, for those shooters to come out to our matches. And they don't care, and I don't care. I continue to help other matches that are just starting up that people ask me for help. And it's like, it's cool. It's the only place I've ever seen where people can actually be competitive and supportive in the exact same realm.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I love it. It's my very first experience with some high-level shooters, was James Casanova. And I found the same thing. I'm like, God, this guy's like telling me everything he knows.
Right.
And, I made the car guy comment a minute ago, but you'd have guys that would lie to you about what jets they're putting in their nitro system, and they wouldn't even tell you what their gap was on their spark plugs. They wouldn't lend you a 13 millimeter wrench. Mm-hmm. It's just a bunch of dicks, but that is not the case.
They thought that they needed that competitive edge.
Yeah.
They needed that little small edge.
But the culture here is, I'm going to tell you everything I know.
The culture
you're still
here
going to
is
have to work hard
Keith
to catch
Garcia is throwing out all kinds of cool videos like every few weeks on hey, I just found this new thing out. Like, hey, we're putting these magnets on the base of our,
How do
our
they
shotgun.
work?
And here's what I'm doing. And then people like Mac Finning are making more videos about it and explaining it further. And not only does he not care, he's like, oh, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
video,
exactly.
It's cool. This is the only sport you see that.
Keith's not like, Mac, F you, man. I'm coming for you. It definitely is. By the way, rare earth magnets are sold out all over the United States.
That's not as funny as it should be.
Well, so with the, a lot of those people that you mentioned there, I can tell you've shot some of their matches. Because I shot the Colorado ThreeGun Championship last year, presented by Burst Optics, and I definitely noticed I'm shooting steel with a rifle inside a bay. We don't do that in Colorado.
No,
that's something
nobody
unique.
else does that. And I was down at the Southwest Regionals, and I'm like, holy smokes, we're shooting at 45 yards against steel with a rifle.
Well, and that was the very first time that I
okay.
Exactly. Well, so I'm from Colorado too, so I've shot the same matches you've shot, and that was the first time I had seen shooting pepper poppers with a rifle, and I thought oh yeah, they're made of the same stuff as steel,
right? So when you go to a match as a shooter, you go there to to try to shoot it and learn about the stages to shoot them better.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is 2015, I was a much better shooter than I was in 2016. Because in 2016, I realized, you know what? And actually, my buddy Wes Powell pulled me aside and he said this. I was like, dude, Wes, I'm frustrated, man. Every single match, I seem to be placing worse and worse and worse and worse. He's like, yeah, but you're getting to be a better match director. He's like, honestly, man, you can either go one of two ways, but you'll never be a good match director at the same time as you can be a good shooter. I was like, oh, that's okay. Maybe you got some point here,
Dude, it took someone telling me that this summer. I can't even remember who it was now. I was complaining about a match performance. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you don't have to shoot well. You're there to cover the match for the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought, oh, well, that's fantastic. And that takes a whole lot of pressure off of me.
Well, and it's here's a good example. Joe Buck in the NFL, right? Granted, he's not a fantastic, announcer, but he was never a major high-level football player, right? But he's a great announcer to some people.
Well, that's the way I looked at the show. Is there's when I look at the contribution that I can make as a shooter, and I thought about, I had the idea for the show. I'm like, my impact could be much higher.
Oh yeah,
over here on the shooting sports in general. If I pursue this rather than if I just become a good shooter, because then otherwise I'm just another shooter.
Right. So what do you think the average local match stage time is?
Oh, geez, I have no clue.
Maybe 30 to 60 seconds, depending on your level of shooter, right?
Okay.
Maybe some really short stages, 15 seconds, and some major heavy-duty stages with long-range rifle or rifle spinners and stuff. You might reach up to maybe 110, 120 seconds, right? Mm-hmm. So what does that average out to? You shoot for about 6 to 7 minutes in a match. Right?
Okay.
So it's only 6 to 7 minutes that you spend shooting in a match. The rest of the time is resetting, working, setting up the match, tearing it down, right? And so you're working your butt off for that small little period of thrill.
Right.
For me, it is more fun for me to put on a match and run around and watch everybody else shooting them and seeing how they're figuring out the puzzles that I put in front of them. That is phenomenal to me. You guys that are shooting the match, you guys get 7 minutes of thrill. I get 4 to 6 hours, maybe even 7 or 8 on a big, long day of just seeing incredible things happening.
Well, it's like throwing a party, inviting all your best friends,
Right.
And then you get take part in the joy that they're having, even though, you know, you got to stay and clean up afterwards.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, it's so cool because, like, there's sometimes somebody will get super, super frustrated and they'll come over and talk to me and they'll release that on me. And then on the other side of things, there will be somebody that shoots, completely smokes the stage, and they come over and they're giddy as heck, and I get to join in on that.
Yeah.
You know, I get to enjoy that. So it's cool. It's so much more fun to me to be a match director than it ever was to be a shooter.
Huh.
Like, about
That's great, man.
half of my matches I don't even shoot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. And you, I think you shot like 1 or 2 stages at the championship.
Yeah, I shot 2 stages. I never even shot the whole match.
Yeah, exactly, because there was just too much to do.
Yeah.
So what was that first major match experience like for you?
Oh, man. That is, if you guys don't understand what level of stress that a match director comes under, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, I know a bunch of match directors listen to this, and they're all nodding their head right now.
yeah.
They're driving
I
down
mean,
the road with their pickup trucks. Maybe some of them are carrying targets, and they're nodding their head and they're laughing.
It's not just setting up some stages like a local match. It's not. There's so many more pieces to the puzzle, and there's so much communication leading up to it. There's 6 months of preparation coming up to one major match, and I thought I was like, it was in July last year, and I started in February of last year to set up for it. I was behind the 8 ball at that point.
Really?
Yeah, I was behind the 8 ball at that point, and I had no idea how far behind the 8 ball I was. I've started in November this year, setting up for the July match.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. No, I don't have stages design and stuff like that, but there's just so much more to it.
I can help you with that.
You can help me with stage design?
Oh, yeah.
There's so much more to it that's behind the curtain that you guys just have no idea that it's happening, and just logistics and stuff like that, and dealing with everybody. You know, everybody has problems that come up and stuff like that.
And then you're the point man for all those problems.
And I'm the point man for all those problems.
Right.
And the funny thing, so my range master last year was Carrie Hess, who's I can't imagine a better range master out there. And Carrie and I were going through the match the entire time, and all we were dealing with for 3 days straight was just problems and troubles and frustrating things that, like, we got towards the end of it. I'm like, man, is this seriously how this is? Like, is this as bad as we see that it is? And
it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was amazing. Like, we got up to the awards ceremony, and like, people were ecstatic. I mean, I can't tell you the number of people that told us it was the best local match or best major match that they've ever shot. And some of these people have shot lots and lots of major matches. And, like, it was like we went from this extreme low of, like, Carrie and I honestly at one point were like, dude, we are not doing this next year. There's no way we were doing this next year, to, like, people just celebrating about, like, how amazing this was, and, like, having beer from Grimm Brothers.
Yeah, my buddies, like, up in Loveland.
Yeah, and it was just amazing. Getting a tiara from from Cindy and flowers, that was ridiculous. And
it's a little weird.
Yeah, it was super odd, but I mean, it was super incredible. Like,
well, so yeah, let's talk about that, man. So there's your perception of the match. And there's my perception of the match. You know, like it's like when again, let's use the party analogy. It's like, you know, you go to a Christmas party or something like that, and my grandma would always be like, "Oh, you know, the sauce is too dry, or the turkey's not cooked." It's like, are you kidding me? Like, everybody wolfed down the turkey. The pie was amazing. You know, the Swedish meatballs were just fine. Nobody even noticed, and, you know, that sort of thing. And it's when you're putting it on and you have your head in the fire, so to speak, or I think I might have made that one up, but it's completely different.
Yeah.
Your perspective is completely different. So for me as a shooter, you know, all I saw was a stressed out Kevin and and Carrie. I'm pretty sure Carrie was Carrie as Carrie can be, right?
Yeah.
That's just like how Carrie is, you know.
He was flat, even keeled.
Yeah, absolutely.
He honestly, man, he kept the boat going forward.
Yeah,
I would have lost if I didn't have that guy there.
But dude, all your ROs were great, you know. And I will say this: so I've been to a lot of matches where day one, all the ROs are like, "Hey, welcome to the Colorado ThreeGun Championship," and then the next day they've gotten some sort of briefing from someone who put the fear of the time clock into them, and so the next day they're rushing you through, straight faced, worried about getting yelled at and stuff, and that was not your crew. It was the
Nope.
same dudes. Only Nick Ingmeyer was way more sunburnt the second day than he was the
Nick
first day.
Ingmeyer was so red.
Well, he's Irish.
I know he's Irish, but man, he looked like a tomato by day 2. It was
That's
so
just how
bad.
he is. We tried to tell him to put sunscreen on, but so
You know what? So that's actually a good segue to something else too.
hang on. Let's finish up the match experience real quick.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so let's just
You're
talk.
driving the boat.
Yeah, I am driving the boat, but and then I want to go where you want to go.
Okay.
But let's put a little bow onto it. So from the perspective of the shooter, it was a great match, challenging stages. There wasn't anything undoable. There was definitely some presentations that people regularly shoot other matches in Colorado or have not shot major matches out of Colorado have not seen. But if they shot SoCo 3-gun, then they get those reps in with all the unique targets and everything that you guys have, like the rifle spinner. That's definitely not something we do anywhere else in Colorado.
Weld started doing it
After.
after.
They did not do it before.
They were prepping. They heard those guys at them and at Ben Loman heard that we were going to have it at the major match, and they both threw it in.
Oh, nice.
One of the local matches.
Well,
right
I will
before.
say I missed both the local matches that led up to that. But anyway, so from the shooter's perspective, it was a well-executed match. And for a first-year match, it was impressive to see that. You know, like you didn't come the next day and they're like, oh, yeah, we started you guys on a different stage. It's like, oh, well, where's my communication? You know, it's like we knew as shooters, as we went home, where we were supposed to be. And when we came back the next day is where we were supposed to be. It was a half-day match. First time we've seen like that type of thing in Colorado. Usually it's on and off, I believe.
Well, so Rocky Mountain's on and off, and then Noveski was 5 one day, 3 the next day.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so this was a half-day format, which is kind of cool because then, you know, especially for me who I wasn't in Colorado at the time, so I traveled back, and then I got to, you know, see friends I haven't seen in a long time. We got to go to dinner.
Well,
people
you know,
that
I had a
traveled from
ton of people that said that they came out for vacation and that the side match and the match was in a side. Like, I mean, Colorado Springs it's incredible. We have so much stuff. We have Pikes Peak that you can drive to the top of.
14,000-foot peak, you can drive to the top.
Yeah, and it's literally 30, 40 minutes from the range to be at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And then we have Cheyenne Canyon, all the hiking stuff, all the Olympic Training Center stuff.
Manitou Springs, Rodeo Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Colorado Springs is like this unknown hotbed of vacation or paradise. And so I had a ton of people that they said that half-day format for them enabled them to vacation here with their family at the same time as shoot the match. So it was really cool.
I really like that half-day format. I enjoy shooting those types of matches.
Back to your comms thing.
Yeah, so where are you going?
So two things. So with the comms thing, so as a firefighter and formerly as a Marine, communications have been very heavily ingrained. You can't have an expectation if that expectation is not communicated, and you can't hold somebody else to an expectation if that, you know, again, wasn't reciprocated. So I was complimented multiple times about the fact that we kept, you know, a lot, if not more than most major matches of communication with our shooters. I sent out emails frequently, but not too frequently. But, you know, so we kept everybody informed. But, yeah, I mean, so you said, what did you say exactly about the somebody had put some the fear of God into.
Oh yeah, into ROs. Yeah.
Right. So this is actually a good tie-in. So again, in the fire service, we're really, really, really adamant about, like, you know, our personal firefighter safety and whatnot. And I went to a class this last year that they were like, if you look at all of the firefighter injuries and fatalities, they all happen initially when you first start something, when you are hurried, or when you are tired and just about to end it. So I actually had a local match that one of the squads was running really, really slow. And so I pulled them aside and said, listen, guys, we need to become a little bit more efficient. I don't know what's going on here, but you guys are literally an hour behind all the rest of the squads. And then they started hurrying, and I started seeing mistakes made. And I stopped them immediately after one of the shooters, and I pulled them all aside again. I was like, listen, guys, this is the deal. You guys are tired. This is towards the end of the match. You're all now in a rush. someone is going to get shot. I said, I will be here until 7 p.m. if I need to be. I will be here until the sun is going down and I'm still breaking down the stages in the dark. But you guys need to focus on being safe shooters, focus on being efficient shooters. But we are not rushing and we are not hurting, and we need to just make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well, and that type of communication is important. We were talking before we got started here when we were having dinner about the Jocko Willing podcast.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things he likes to do is cover books, like military books, and how you can apply that to life and to business and things of that nature. One of the things, I hadn't prepared to talk about this. I don't remember the title of the book, but the author had mentioned that he shouted at one of his men.
Mm-hmm.
When asked a question, he shouted back like a response rather than just giving him a direct order. It was like an emotional response.
Mm-hmm.
And he realized at that point that he was going to lose his men if he didn't get himself together. So
right.
I find that when that stress rolls downhill,
mm-hmm.
it amplifies.
Oh yeah.
Right. So if you're stressed and you go up to one of your ROs and say, "Look, dude, we're really far behind. We need to catch up," then it amplifies. But
Absolutely.
if you come up and say, "You know what, guys, we're a little bit far behind and we need to come up with a few things that we can do to move this stage a little bit along a little bit better. If you guys have any ideas, you let me know. I'll be back here and watching to see if I come up with anything."
Mm-hmm.
That's two completely different ways to say the same thing.
And so that's something that I have learned in the fires, you could say, of paramedicine. So
mm-hmm.
As a firefighter paramedic, I also work on the ambulance, and I'm always the lead on whatever medical calls we have. And after we got done with a pretty bad medical call one time, my partner pulled me aside. He's like, his name's Jason. Jason's like, "Hey man, just so you know, that scene was a show." He's like, "That was terrible, man." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. What do you think went wrong?" He's like, "Honestly, we walked in the door and you were already hyped up." He's like, "You got to be the calm." He's like, "This can be a storm, but you have to be that calm in that storm." He's like, "As soon as we heard in your voice that you were stressed,
oh yeah,
now we all went through the roof." And so, yeah, that's
mm-hmm.
exactly kind of what you're saying. So.
Yeah, and I would imagine like in your profession, you get to deal with that every day. So you get a lot of opportunity and a lot of repetitions to correct that.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately. Well, so Kevin, let's switch gears a little bit here and Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge.
Okay,
it's coming back, man.
Yeah.
One of the biggest bummers was last year it didn't happen. So that was a 2014 to 2015 match. It ran for 2 years.
Right.
Mike Payne ran it.
Uh-huh.
And so much fun.
Dude, that
8
was
stages?
my favorite. He did 10 stages.
10 stages.
He did 10 stages in a day.
10 stages, 1 day, all shotgun, slugs and bird shot.
Yep.
No buck or anything. But,
nope.
man, he used every little thing that
every
Pikes
piece
Peak
of steel that they had in Pikes Peak Gun Club was used.
Every pickup truck they had that they would let him use. we got to start in a pickup truck in one and shoot stars out of it and everything.
Yeah,
man, and I'm such a big fan of shotgun, and it's funny when I hear like, oh, when people want to start $3-gun, the shotgun's just the most intimidating gun out there. I think like, oh no, I love the shotgun.
Exact opposite, man. I love the shotgun.
Oh man, and so when you get to shoot, a 1-gun match, I want it to be the shotgun,
right?
And it's cool because you walk around with so much less gear.
Oh,
you've got only 1 gun, but now you got to bring like a pallet full of ammo because there's so many.
Because it's so big. Yeah. 2 cases of ammo.
Exactly.
Boxes of slugs. And so you were mentioning earlier about how James Casanova was like one of those people that really stepped down to your level and kind of guided you and coached you. So my very first major match was the 2014 Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge. I had no idea it was a major match. I had no idea what a major match was. Somehow I got swatted.
It was cheap for a major too. It was like $65 or $75.
No, it was more than that.
Was it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I remember it being like half of what a major was, though.
It was definitely it's
a bargain,
a value oriented.
Yeah,
major, that's
super
for sure.
value.
But so I actually got squatted with Team Noveski.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
With Rob
with
and
my
Jansen
dad. It was with Jansen, with James and Jana.
Okay.
And I had no idea who these people
So
were.
your dad was there too?
And my dad was there.
Oh,
that
cool.
was his first match too. It was pretty cool. He's always been a shotgun shooter, and I had tried to get him into 3-gun, and that was my segue to kind of open him up to it.
Well, it's a shotgun challenge.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And so let's back up just real quick, and then I want to get into the Noveski thing. But the shotgun challenge. So Mike's thing is like, I want bird hunters to excel at this portion.
Yeah.
I want 3-gunners to excel at this portion. I want clay shooters to excel at this portion. And it definitely challenges.
It challenged every aspect
of
the shotgun
shotgunning,
shooters,
including slugs. And it's not just a 3-gun match without the other 2 guns.
Right.
Like there was the first year we shot from a goose blind that was lying on the ground. I didn't even know that was a thing. And
it was amazing. You actually started your shotgun was in between your legs and muzzle point downrange, and you were completely covered inside of this goose blind.
And then so when you had to reload, you had to do it from that goose blind.
Yeah. You couldn't stand up. You had to sit down, and at the beep, you burst out of.
With the little flappy things, and
it was so much fun.
And then second year, they had you like sitting on like a 5-gallon bucket, like you were pigeon hunting or something like that.
Oh, inside of it was a standing blind.
Yeah, inside of a standing blind, exactly. So
they had 6 or 8 clays that were launched at intervals.
And so there's a lot of flying clays at this match, and again, it's a shotgun challenge, so it's to challenge you in every aspect of the shotgun shooting. Yeah. So sorry to interrupt there. That we set it up now. Now now you were saying that you were with the Team Noveski.
Oh yeah. So I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I had a Mossberg shotgun at the time.
Did you really?
That was frustrating.
Oh no, it was 930.
Yeah.
Nice.
And James repeatedly helped me. He probably doesn't even remember this, but he helped me clear it several times. They coached us a ton.
Yeah.
All of them, all 3 of them
like
did.
Stage planning and stuff?
And we were not to the level of stage planning and understanding stage planning. It was our first major. It was like my second match, dude. So it was a lot of walking around and shooting from different places. But no, they definitely helped out a lot. It was amazing. And then the second year I shot it, I was with Jansen Jones again. And Jansen taught me so much about chokes and like understanding choke selection, and I made some egregious errors in the middle of the match that cost me, stages by like several seconds because I made poor choices on chokes.
Interesting.
And the guy, he just went through and just explained everything with chokes and stuff. So it was really cool, like the access that you have at a 3-gun match compared to everywhere else. Like if I'm out playing a game of baseball, I'm not going to have Ken Griffey Jr. helping me out. I'm not going to have Ryan Sandberg teaching me how to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
But at a 3-gun match, you can end up squatted with some of these incredible people.
Well, and then you throw
teach you some amazing things.
A 1-gun match, and they don't have all that other gear to worry about and all the other plan to worry about. And this, the plans are probably a little more simple. So now you get the opportunity for coaching as well.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was pretty impressed by it. And I think that, honestly, the level of assistance that I received from these high-level shooters that I didn't even know, that didn't know me from Adam, was probably that was the taste that really got me into 3-gun, because I realized, holy cow, like these are cool. Genuinely the coolest people I've ever met. Yeah. When I was in the Marines, I was like, wow, these are some really cool people. And then I got into medicine, and I was like, wow, these are really cool people too. And then I got into firefighting. I'm like, man, these guys are even cooler. And it just continued on. And then finally, I found the coolest people on the entire planet, which by far is 3-gunners.
Nice.
By far.
Nice. So the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
We missed it last year. What's happening this year?
So this year, I talked to Mike towards the end of the year last year, Mike Payne, and we discussed it. And SoCo 3-Gun, which is the parent company that runs all these 3-gun matches, is going to run the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge. But all the stages and a lot of the design and stuff like that is all going to come back from Mike Payne.
That's great.
And so because
that was like his strong suit.
That's his strong suit, man. I mean,
he put on some amazing stages.
They're amazing. It genuinely has been my favorite match that I've ever shot, was the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge, and I've shot no less than a couple dozen major matches, and that's still by far my favorite match. So and then the fact that I get to work with this guy that at one point was genuinely really a mentor for me, like setting up all this stuff and really going at it, like it's pretty cool to kind of come full circle and be able to work alongside him to make something. So I'm excited to see what happens with the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge. It's going to be a little bit different this year in that it's not going to be a prize table match. It's going to probably just be a trophy match, but the focus is going to be on the fun and on the match, and we're going to really just put a lot of effort into that, and it's going to be pretty phenomenal.
Nice.
It's going to be awesome.
So when is that match?
That's September 9th.
September 9th. Okay, and when are you opening up registration for that?
We haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
So just if anybody listening is interested in it, all you got to do is keep an eye on SOCO, S-O-C-O, ThreeGun.com. No dashes or spaces or hyphens or anything like that. And there's a link for all three of our quasi-major/major matches. We have the Memorial 3-man 3-gun that's going to be in May, which I don't even think I told you about that.
No, so it's going to be a team match, huh?
In May is going to be a team match. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. Then we've got the Pikes Peak Shotgun Challenge. Then, of course, the Colorado 3-gun Championships presented by Burris Optics. And so the 3-man 3-gun that we're going to do, the team 3-gun match, is a so last year one of our shooters lost her son. And we did a memorial match that was phenomenal. If you guys have ever seen a sold-out match in 0-degree weather, it's incredible. The people that came out in just after a snowstorm to be able to support Cindy. It was
three-gunner.
Fellow 3-gunner. It was incredible. And so we decided this year to make the match a little bit different so that it would be even more special. And so again, just like last year, we're going to support the Donor Alliance. We raised $2,500 last year for the Donor Alliance.
Cool.
We're going to do it again this year, and it's going to be in May, first Sunday in May, and so it'll be awesome. It'll be pretty fun too.
Excellent. And a team match too. That's cool.
Yep.
That'll be
Team
like
match.
the first team match in Colorado.
Yeah.
3-gun wise, anyway.
3-gun wise.
Very cool. So, Kevin.
Yeah.
The main match you're running this year.
Yep.
Colorado 3-gun Championship, presented by Burris Optics. What can we expect from this match?
What can we expect from this match? So people ask me whether or not they should shoot the match, whether or not it's worth driving or flying out for it. I get that. I get people asking me that all the time. I'm like, I'm the match director, man. Like, genuinely, of course you're going to have to come out to my match.
By the way, I'm going to interrupt you again. Yeah. People ask me, should I drive for this match?
Yeah.
How long did I drive today, Kevin? To get here for this interview?
8 hours, probably.
Yeah, more than that, dude.
Yeah.
I am the wrong
snowstorm.
Yeah, from the snowstorm, it was 12 hours. I am the wrong guy to ask if something's worth driving for, because that's like all I do anymore. How long did it take you to
get from Austin, Texas to Vegas for SHOT Show?
Oh, God, it literally took 2 days. Not 2 full days, but it took 2 days. Yeah. So I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Yeah, so both of us. So don't ask either of us. Yeah. Ask somebody else that shot the match.
However, that said, definitely, I'm from Colorado, so I'm completely and totally biased because, I came and there's – boom, 40 of my friends that I've been shooting with since I started shooting 3 guns. So I'm totally biased, but I really enjoyed the match last year. And, you and I went and shot hard as hell together.
Yeah.
And all the way home, I was like, how about this? How about this?
Do this, do that, do this.
No, write this down, Kevin. You're not listening.
He literally handed me his pad, and I had to start writing things
And then he left the pad in my truck.
Yeah, that's true. So the kind of match that you're looking for, if you're looking for an all-natural terrain match, I know it's Colorado and I know it's beautiful, but look to Rocky Mountain 3-gun, look to Blue Ridge. It's not going to be us. It's 7 bay stages and 1 natural terrain stage. The kind of hallmark that we really have developed, and I think there's a lot of matches that do this, but I think we do this really well, is that we have created stages that are not they're a lot of fun and very challenging to shoot efficiently and shoot at the top level and have options and really can challenge a top-level shooter. But at the same time, it is the perfect mid-level major for somebody that's a mid-level local shooter that wants to come out and try their first or second or third major match. And we don't put anything out there that's going to be a 600-yard shot on a 3 MOA target or anything like that. Like it's all very doable stuff and fun stuff, like stuff that is genuinely just a ton of fun to shoot.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I tell people. Like it's a mid-major. So if you're, if you want to come and run with the top 20 in the nation, this is not the match for you.
No, I don't expect to see a Daniel Horner or a Keith Garcia out there.
Yeah, but if you're within a few hours of Colorado, few being like, what I drive today, 12.
No. Oh man, I had people driving from. I had somebody drive from Michigan. I had several from Texas. I had people from Alabama that drove up. Minnesota, several Minnesotans.
Yeah, a couple guys from Texas.
Minnesotas.
Yeah.
But
if you're in New Mexico for sure because you're so close to Colorado Springs, Nebraska, Kansas.
Oh, we had 22 states represented last year.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a lot of people represented. A lot of people from all over the nation signed up for it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. It was very cool, and I have honestly only heard from one person out of 186, whatever it was. Only one person has straight up told me I will not be back to your match.
Nice.
Right? I think that's a pretty good percentage.
That's not bad.
I mean,
I asked a few people candidly too. Like, look, I won't tell Kevin. Who gave me the. No, I'm not kidding here. This sounds like Dave's kidding, but serious. Like, I asked people, like, look, I won't tell Kevin who gave me the response. If you have any feedback, I'd love to give it to him because a friend constructive feedback. I always look for feedback on the podcast.
Yeah.
And when people give that to me, I'm more than happy to. It's not always good, but it's more than happy to listen to it to see if I can improve.
Right.
And no one could say a crossword. And I was like, look, I'm not going to tell them you said this. Like, trying to push it. And they're like, no.
Yeah, no, it was good. And like I kind of alluded to earlier, it's 100% because there are so many other people out there that wanted us to succeed, that provided me the opportunity to succeed, that really, gave us all their keys to the Golden Kingdom. And they provided, the ability for it to be a good quality match. So
there's two things I want to talk about here, Kevin. And one of them, have you ever played a game called Hot Lava?
Yeah. You were alluding to this earlier, and I didn't pick up on it until afterwards.
You didn't bite. Do you remember? So you remember playing the game Hot Lava on the playground, right? So we're
even in the living room, jumping from the couch to the chair,
exactly.
To
like you touch
tile
the ground,
floor,
it's
you can't
hot
touch
lava,
the carpet.
Yeah. So when we were on the way back from Hard as Hell, we were going over the stages that we had shot, which that match was just a ton of fun. Super physical, which I really liked. And
it's one of those that everybody should shoot at least one time.
Oh yeah, I would say.
It's an experience. That's for sure.
Exactly.
And it's one of the few matches that. Yeah, it's one of the few matches that I think that like you can genuinely show up with no expectations of placement.
Yes.
Like,
well, that's what we did
to shoot it. Yeah, we didn't show up with any expectations.
You came
of
out and you're like, dude, I haven't been practicing for a long time, and I was like, you know what? I'll be honest, I'm a little burnt out right now.
Yeah.
And I had just experienced like a DQ at a match, and then some other stuff happened in between, and I was just like, I'm a little burnt out, man, and I'm starting to fall out of love here.
Yeah.
So I want to just go in and have fun and not care where I finish, and both of us going in with that expectation, we had, pretty decent matches, save for a couple of equipment malfunctions that you had. So, no.
Rifles. I've never seen a rifle squib, and I had 3 in a match.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, not even my own ammo either.
So on the way back, one of those, we were driving. So we had a lot of time to talk. And one of the things I came up with is I was like, dude, you got to do Hot Lava. You can't touch the dirt.
And I was like, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, well, it sounds like one of those Dave ideas where you're like, all right, I'm just going to listen to this, Dave, and then just nod my head, and then we're going to go on to something else.
But yeah, the more we started talking about it, and then I got home and I was like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And then so as of right now, this obviously isn't set in stone. We're 6 months from the match. But as of right now, we've got the stage plan for it, that it's going to involve some of those like stepping stones that you have at like Home Depot, and,
Right. Like a
the
wobbly
pavers.
bridge.
And we're gonna have so it's gonna be a wobbly bridge, and then a static bridge that you're gonna have to cross over to a rope bridge, and then the rope bridge is gonna have planks that you gotta cross, and then that rope bridge is gonna terminate down to a couple more the pavers, and then over to a seesaw bridge that you gotta cross that too. And then from there into the back of a trailer, and the trailer is going to be completely sealed off, and you're just going to have a few very small ports, and I'm not going to hint at any moving targets or anything that will have to be engaged from those small ports. But it kind of grew from like this ridiculous Dave idea to like this is amazing. Like, let's push this. And I've seen some, especially USPSA matches that have kind of done that. And Hard as Hell kind of had something like that on stage. Was it 6, 5, something like that?
Well, so they had a couple things that made me think of that, right? So I think
shotgun
it was the
section.
Bulgarian shoot house, right? So you were on this big rope
Right.
bridge, and you were shooting shotgun.
And that was fun.
And then you got down, and then you ran across the dirt. And I think that's how it came about, because then after that, you got up on that wall, and you couldn't touch the ground from there.
Right.
And then you got down and went through the
Well,
shoot
there
house.
was this, was it stage 5 or 6 or whatever, that you had the shotgun that you could only shoot from on the plank?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we kind of talked about
exactly.
that too.
So all those little things on all those stages kind of inspired the
so
hot
Ken
lava,
Nelson,
I think.
if you were listening, Ken, thank you.
Yeah, thanks to you and your crew.
I might
of
even
course.
call this
Brian and
something
Sam
like-
and all them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brian, I think, might have been the stage designer on that. But
Hard as lava.
Yeah. Yeah, we might even call it that. But yeah, so that'll be fun.
So another thing is one of my goals, you and I talked about like goal setting and stuff like that when we were on the way back, because it was December, New Year's coming up. So one of my goals for 2017 is to spread the good word of the practical shooting beyond the practical shooting community. Because right now I feel like, a lot of I get messages and stuff like that from a lot of people that haven't shot a match before, but I feel like the bulk of my work is in the current 3-gun community. So
Right.
I want to spread out and bring new people into the fold.
So the seed, yeah.
Right. And so in that spirit, plus one to help my buddy out, I was like, Kevin, what can I do? And you're like, oh, you can, why don't you come on RO stage? I'm like, no, man. Like, I need to do something that brings new people in.
He kept calling it, he wanted to be my hype man.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He wanted to be my hype man.
I have that written down right here, actually. So we're running a shotgun side match for the match, which is going to be cool because we have the ability to set up a side match right where registration is going to be, right where everybody comes and signs in. So they have no reason. They're not going to be able to miss me. And I'm going to be there, and I'm hyping it up because I'm the hype man.
So come visit your 3-gun show host, Dave Hartman, and come say hey to him, get a picture with him, get an autograph.
Yeah, and we don't have like all kinds of details and stuff, but we've been spitballing things like maybe one of those Top Gear leaderboard type things.
Right. Yeah.
But we're going to have gear there. If people don't have gear. So if you have a buddy that you're bringing with you or is nearby or something like that, and you're shooting the match,
right,
he can wander up and shoot that stage. He can use my shotgun. Yep. We're working on a couple loaner shotguns. We're going to get a couple Invictus practical.
Yeah, I already talked
carriers.
I talked to Kevin Pratt 2 weeks ago about that.
Yeah,
and he I told him about the idea that we're going to do it's going to be a public access side shoot.
Yes.
Like all the public can come shoot it, and it's a shotgun primarily club originally, so there will be a ton of people that will have the opportunity to come down and play for the first time in the practical realm. And so we're going to have an amateur shoot and then I don't want to call it a pro level, an experienced shoot. Yeah.
Which will be for the people that are actually shooting the match.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. Yeah, Kevin was like, oh yeah, let me give you some vests, and you can use some vests, and so it's pretty cool that they're supporting it.
Yeah.
But so Dave will be there, and you guys can come out and shoot it. And I think we talked about our price at $10 every time you wanted to shoot it, and just go through as many times as you want and have some fun. Bring your family, talk your kids into doing it. And your wife. And
dude, it's gonna be so much fun. And we're going to reach out to the other shooting venues in the the Colorado Springs community too, and see how many people we can get out there to shoot it and introduce them to the fun world and the fun game we have. And so I can check, one of those goals off for the year, and we can bring some new blood in.
Yeah.
And show them the warm, welcoming, fun community that we have here in ThreeGun.
In Colorado.
Yeah, exactly. So that is my contribution to the match. And I was like, so Kevin, if I'm hype man, what does that mean? And you're like, well, it means, Dave, you gotta get people to sign up for the match. And so people want to sign up for the match. It's SoCo3gun.com.
Yeah, it's actually colorado3g.soco3gun.com. But if you just go to, it's a little bit too long. But if you go to soco3gun.com, there's a link from the homepage that you're able to go click Colorado 3-Gun Championships.
Right on. And so when they sign up for that, we want people to enter 3GS2017 as their code when they enter it. Now, that's not going to get them a few bucks off, but you challenged me to get like a prize that we could do. So of the people that enter the match using the code 3GS2017, which of course stands for 3-Gun Show 2017.
Thanks for clarification.
When they sign up using that code, they're going to get entered into like a prize drawing.
Right.
And Kevin, I think I told you when I was at a SHOT Show just last week, I was messaged by Aaron Goodfellow from Odinworks.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey Dave, come stop by the booth." So stop by the booth, and I'm a little embarrassed to say that I didn't realize that Odinworks was so into 3-Gun. Like, I remember that they had prizes on the prize table hard as hell, but I didn't realize how supportive they were. Yeah. So Aaron actually runs a couple matches. I believe it's the High Plains Desert Classic. I think that's what it's called.
I think you're right, something like that. High Plains Classic, something like that.
And then the second one is the Sequence Precision Team Match.
Okay.
So he's a 3-gunner, and he's like, "Hey, if you know any matches that need help, you let me know." I'm like, "Dude, Colorado 3-Gun Championship." And I was like, "Oh, hey, that reminds me. Kevin said I was supposed to get a prize for the raffle or the drawing here." And Kevin, I haven't told you what it is yet, so I'm going to tell the audience at the same time. You ready for this?
Sure.
All right. So I talked to Aaron Goodfellow today, and I'm like, "Hey, man, remember that time we talked about that thing?" And he's like, "Of course I do." And so Aaron was like, "If I give you a certificate for any foreign that we make," which is cool because they make a ton of them. So if you've already got your 3-gun rifle filled out, you already got your like carbine or whatever, you're looking for something else, you can pick which one you want.
Right.
They make them up to like 15.5 inches long, and they make this O2 light that is super, super light.
Now, is that the one that's got like all the hex?
Yeah, it's got all the hex things in it.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It's
cool. It's super light too.
Super light, super cool, and again, made by 3-gunners. It feels really good in the hand. So you can actually pick that one up, and if you go for like the 15.5 inch model, it's like $220 worth of foreign there.
Sweet.
Yeah, really cool. So they also make, the magazine releases that everybody's putting on their PCCs. They're drilling into them and everything.
They're tapping in, yeah.
Yeah, so that's originally for an AR-15. So they're going to throw in a magazine release for that too that matches the forend that you get.
Oh, cool.
Has the same little pattern in there. So you're going to get the forend, the magazine release, the XMR button is what they call it. And they're going to throw in a hat and a shirt too.
Nice.
Yeah, so
thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, I know, right? Thanks, Aaron. My new best buddy over at Odinworks. So that's really cool of them to do. Plus, they're, again, they support 3-Gun, so we're going to support them. So if you need anything between then and now, check out Odinworks. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in a 3-Gun Show T-shirt as well.
Nice.
We've got some new T-shirts coming out, and so we'll figure out like what color the winner wants and stuff like that, and we'll get them the T-shirt in their size. And I have very few limited edition 3-Gun Show laser etched magazines.
Nice.
And if it's legal for you to have in your state,
Californians do not enter.
Coloradans do not enter. No, I'm just kidding.
Just take it apart.
If it's legal for you to own in your state, you will walk away with one.
Nice.
So 3-Gun Show magazine, 3-Gun Show T-shirt, Odinworks T-shirt, Odinworks hat, Odinworks magazine release, and any forend of your choosing.
So that's like 6 things worth probably well over $300.
Yeah, it's got to be
close to 4 maybe.
Well, the 3-Gun Show T-shirt's like priceless, so that's got to be at least $400 worth of stuff. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So if you're interested in this match, the Colorado 3-Gun Championship presented by Burris Optics, go to soco3gun.com and look for the link for it right there. And then enter code 3GS2017. Registration opens up February 6th.
February 6th, yeah.
Monday, February 6th. So be the first in line because Kevin likes to sell out his matches. And you'll be entered for the raffle. And only people that enter using that code are going to be able to win.
Right.
So
exactly.
this is between you and me on the line here. Like, not everybody's going to use that code, so you got a good chance of winning.
You got a better chance than anybody else.
Exactly.
So and we're gonna give that stuff away at the match during the prize ceremony, and so you'll be able to walk away with it right there.
Right. Plus, you'll be able to shoot the shotgun side match.
Yeah, the side match. And
possibly a leaderboard. Big event that's going to be happening basically at Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak Gun Range.
May or may not be a prize associated with walking away with the top place in the experienced section.
Oh, really? In the shotgun match?
Uh-huh.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Plus a hot lava stage, possibly.
Plus the hot lava stage. You might get burned on that one.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for sitting down and telling me about all the great stuff you have going here, man. I'm really looking forward to working with you on the Colorado 3-Gun Championship. I think we're going to have a ton of fun, as per usual, whenever we hang out. So this is going to be a good time, man.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, Dave. I really appreciate it, man.
No problem. And for the listeners, be sure to check out soco3gun.com for all the great stuff that Kevin is up to. And again, to sign up for the Colorado State match using code 3GS2017. And show notes for this show is at 3gunshow.com/episode 110. And as always, thank you so much for downloading, listening, and subscribing to the show. I'm Dave Hartman, and I'll see you on the range.
If you are finished, unload, show clear.